Hello everyone, welcome to Galatta Plus. We have with us the people who made Balagam, with the director Venu Yeldandi. We have the producer Harshith Reddy, and of course we have the star Priyadarshi. So before we start talking about the film, I have a question for all three of you. Uh, Apart from the artistic merits of the film, one of the narratives that has come is the fact that this has finally put Telangana cinema on the map. That the that culture of that region has finally come on the map. So, as for somebody who's not from this area, I want to ask you: has there been no other film so far in Telugu cinema that has celebrated this culture so much?
With the Telangana backdrop, we had Mabhumi and all in previous generations. I think this generation, this is the film which is showing actually on the death side, this kind of culture, this is the first time.
This is the first time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
there have been many attempts, whether it was many years ago, it was Chiller, they were starting as a quote unquote as a Telangana movie per se. And then, like Harshit mentioned, it is also Manabhumi. And then Ose Ramulamma Kud, you can also name it as one of those major blockbusters which have had primarily been shot and also portrayed the life of Telangana. And in recent times, I think there were many more films. Like, I mean, I would also take a little example of Mallesham,
Right.
and then followed by Mail. And now, yeah, to specifically to celebrate Telangana as a culture, principally.
So especially in this Balagam, that particular thing, that culture, major. In previous films, all shows that characterizations, language. But in this particular Balagam, we are showing that proper culture, nativity, rural, exactly what we have in Telangana culture. Exactly, we showed that thing.
Right.
Basically, that is a particular thing in Balagam. So a previous film sub
Mallesham Land.
वो language में आ गया, so language shows that things, especially this one is that culture.
The whole cultural
Yeah,
practices that are
practices.
followed
Yes.
in Telangana, I think we Mr. Venona is like depicted everything properly in terms of how do they, even the little nuances, the details. I think he put them on map. Like,
So, why do you think that before this, apart from the few films that you mentioned, why was this culture not depicted on screen? Do you have a guess about why?
It's not a guess or something, but previously when we did films, already cinema has got a tone in Telugu because there is a common language like what they talk. So when slowly it's going on, now you start seeing dialects. People are also more after the global cinema has conquered due to the OTT platforms and all. Now I think people are looking for every smaller detail. Like previously, if you see like in other languages like Kantara coming out, so the local content is becoming global today.
Right.
So on that platforms, it helped us to portray now.
Lovely. So you're saying that earlier there was one Hyderabadi kind of common language that was spoken across with very few films attempting dialect, but now this is a completely set in Telangana. The customs, the way they speak, the way the characters are, and it's not just surface level, but it goes deep.
yeah, I think also we have to credit the very formation of Telangana as a state,
Right.
and also which has led to a certain political commitment, and also that has enforced certain social change, and also bring out and talk and celebrate more about the identity as a
Right.
particular issue. Telangana as an identity.
Yeah.
When you look at Balagam, it is also, you can look at it as a cultural project for many people. I mean, especially how the political leaders have embraced Balagam here in Telangana. It is also, I could see that they're also taking this film as into like celebrate or tell the world, especially how the cultures or the, because like Harshitana mentioned, we used to only use Telangana as a dialect for many people, characters were playing negative in roles, and now that whole sphere has changed right now. And so we are celebrating all these little identities of culture, food, clothes, location. And I think now it is, we could come up with more stories of such, and we have more empowering writers from Telangana region.
Ah.
That is also, and we have producers who are empowering such writers. So that earlier, when I started as an actor, or Venana started as actor, we could see very hardly few Telangana writers on the set, and we could see very few people actually speaking Telangana dialect, Telangana language in the mainstream cinema. But now I think the game has changed right now.
Right, and this is probably the game changer, Balagam. Yeah.
You can
So
call that.
congratulations. It's not everybody who has a first film that's both a financial success and
Critically
a
acclaimed.
socio-political, cultural game changer. So that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you
So
so much. Thank you, sir. Entire the Balagam success credit, I want to give my Dilraju sir, because he's a one of the toppest producer in South. So he's believed this rooted story first time, and he trust me, and he giving a full freedom of that making things. And after that, when this copy came to my hand, he think this is not a movie. This movie has to reach every person, every family. He think that he fixed that. That's why this much a big producer, he taking his shoulders and this movie, and at publicity thing. Though he's this much of this star producer,
Taking forward.
taking forward that tractor.
Yeah. I mean, for the first time, maybe you can see Dilraj Garu, boarding a tractor, promoting the film, taking it
Yes.
on the shoulders. This is also one of his emotional moments where he grew up there for the village that we went into, Nizamabad. He took out a rally with all of us, with all the producers, and we have with all the team specifically.
So first time when people was, what is doing Dilraju sir? What happens? So what is Balagam? Who is the director? Who is the hero? It's a small film. What happened? So that much of attention he creates first time.
right.
So that's why this film, Balagam film, goes in everywhere, every
Went
house.
across
I think
Telugu
after a long
states.
time, what is big compliment we had that thing, 40, 50 years old women, old tatas, amammas, bammas, they are coming theaters again.
Wow.
40 years, 50 years after he watching the movie in theaters.
I'm getting goosebumps now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is the biggest compliment. The people, so one people, solo people, వాడు వెళ్ళి చూస్తాడు
Uh,
and taking not family, mother, father, sister.
yeah, like
ऐसा
one
नहीं हो
one
रहे, ऐसा नहीं हो रहे, पूरा खानदान को लेके
yeah,
जा
one younger person in the family is watching, and then he goes back to home and brings entire family.
Family.
cousins,
Yeah.
ताता, बाम्मा, उसका cousin, वो सबको एक 40, 50 people.
Yeah, yesterday we had an incident where one person from the family has booked the entire show in AMB.
Yeah.
And then he bought his family and friends and had a private kind of a screening for all of them.
Wow.
And this morning, on the wake of the OTT release, we have our producer, Mr. Sirish Garu, is like showing a video from Nizamabad where there's this Palle Velugu bus, a bus from which is like a rural bus, which we've seen these ladies, maybe spanning at the age of 40 to 50, they're deboarding the bus and walking to the theaters. So that, and how it shows the sign of how people have personally owned, and also the idea that they have been represented finally on the screen as the way they are.
Right.
I think is taking them, I think it has created such an exotic value
Right.
for all of them to, walk up to theaters and watch the film.
Right. So is because you mentioned Dilraj Garu, I'm like you're his nephew.
Uncle.
Yeah. So like yeah, he's your uncle. So that's just wanted to mention that. So you think that the reason for the phenomenal success of this film is this rootedness, right?
Yes.
That's what's making it run. So is this movie, obviously it's a blockbuster in Telangana. Is it also a hit in Andhra Pradesh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Andhra Pradesh also is doing good because a lot of people like Deputy CM has called Mr. Venu and appreciated him for after watching Balagam. He spoke to him almost for 20 minutes
Okay.
on the phone. He was telling that, see, it represents the human values. What they are seeing in the film is, apart from the culture, they are seeing the human values in it. So they are getting connected to that.
Right.
They are recollecting their parents, they're recollecting their grandchildren, they're recollecting their kids. So this is what this film is doing. At the end of the day, after seeing the film, a lot of people are calling their near and dear one around the globe, talking to them for 5-10 minutes, venting out whatever they have in their hearts, and they're getting lightened up.
Right.
So that's what is created by the cinema.
Can you mention one or two things about the culture of Telangana that is so specific that is different from what we usually see in a Telugu movie?
So you see that Binde.
The old Batadam, that for like fortune telling,
Yeah,
the idea
yeah.
of fortune telling.
This is a culture in Telangana. If you have any problems, if any medical problem, whatever it is, we didn't get any what क्या हुआ है इसको, didn't get, पता नहीं चल रहा अपन को उसको क्या हुआ है. Then people pray God, क्या हुआ है इसको, कुछ ఏదైనా మొక్కు ఉంటుంది కదా మనకి.
Yeah, if you have any, it is like you have certain wishes with the God. If you want to fulfill all of them, and you don't know what if there are any
Sometimes
health
you-
ailments.
Sometimes you forget that thing,
Okay.
that wish. Then he asked that वल्लू. So उस टाइम में वो पूछा था आपको, एक काट कर देता, बोले जो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो गया अब भूल गया वो पकड़े क्या. So this is a thing in Telangana.
So it's also
Even I did
refreshing.
in my childhood that thing.
Right.
And one thing is that Chedu Noru. Chedu Noru means
The whole family sitting down and drinking in
Right,
the
yes.
film.
Right, right, right.
that thing is special culture in Telangana. That means is when you lost you something, your
Loved
anything,
ones.
Right.
loved ones. So I'm the friend of you. So I came to you and I take some chicken or mutton and take one bottle and we'll drinking together. No, that means you are in pain. So I have to,
Come soothe you.
yes,
Share
like
your
that.
pain.
Share that pain. So I'm here. Don't fear. So it's okay. भूल जाओ सबको. So ये culture है. This is a proper culture in Telangana.
Right.
So when my father died at the age of mine 18, I think it's a 2000 at the time. My family is a very bigger family. I'm the 9 in my mother.
Ninth.
Ninth person.
Ninth son.
Ninth child है my mother. So मेरा बड़ी पर पूरा 6 है, 6 बिग फादर्स. ओके, पूरा सबका बड़ी फैमिली है. सो टोटल मेरे कजिन्स जो 100 हो जाता है.
Wow.
100 cousins. See, so when my father died, today 4 o'clock I think he died. So after that पूरा फोन कर रहे हैं सबको, सब आना है. So इसका दो the next ceremony
Ceremony, all the funeral
shifted to, funeral thing shifted to tomorrow,
next day.
next day. So at that time, and at my point of view, वो मेरा father died after 1 hour का एक घंटे के बाद क्या हुआ, चलो funeral नेक्स्ट डे शिफ्ट हो गया. सो सबका मूड शिफ्ट हो गया. जो उन्होंने मर गया, जो घंटे कितना इमोशन था सबको, अरे वेंकटయ్య मर गया, एल्दंडी वेंकटయ్య मर गया बोल के, इट शिफ्टेड टू टुमारो. एवरीवन फीलिंग इज नॉर्मल हो गया. सब लोग बातें कर रहे. मैं अब तक ये सब रो गया, ये क्या हुआ है, पूरा चिल्ला रहे हैं, कॉमेडी कर रहे हैं, कुछ किधर दारू पीने के गया कुछ. सब लोग आ रहे, एक 5 मिनट वैसा रो रहे, काम हो गया, फिर कैसा है तेरा बेटी, कैसा है, वो सब बात कर रहे हैं. मेरे को ये व्हाट इज दिस, किधर का इमोशन, वेयर इज दिस इमोशन. सो मेरा पॉइंट ऑफ, मे बी मैं घर पे छोटा है ना, सो सबको मैं फोन कर रहा हूँ, हाँ कैसे है अंकल, सो फादर ऐसा चले गया, आ जाओ, ऐसा एड्रेस मैं बोल रहा हूँ, वो टेंट हाउस को बोल रहा हूँ, वो वाटर बॉटल के लिए बोल रहा हूँ. सो मेरे को भी इमोशन चले गया है. सो क्या हो रहे अरे डेड बॉडी उधर है, इमोशन किधर गया है. सो जो सिचुएशन मेरे पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू पूरा कॉमेडी लगा मेरे को.
Yeah.
व्हाट इज दिस, ऐसा मेरे मन में था सब.
Right. I think and that's why for a film like this, which is about the death of his character's grandfather, it's not a serious movie. There's a lot of humor in it. Right? I
Yes,
think maybe
yes.
those experiences
yes exactly
came back to you
Yes.
while you were writing this.
yes exactly.
Right?
जो 11 डे सेरेमनी, एक डेथ का एक कल्चर में 11 डे सेरेमनी होता है, वो क्या है कि क्यों करते हैं अपन, एक आदमी चले गया, उसका सोल सेटिस्फाई होना, दैट्स वाई वी आर डूइंग दिस 11 डे सेरेमनी. सो वो सोल को क्या चाहता है, वो सोल क्या मांग रहे, वो फुलफिल करके उसको सोल को सेटिस्फाई करना है. दैट इज द कल्चर थिंग. तो अब क्या हो रहा है, वो सोल क्या चाह रहे, वो छोड़ के सब कर रहे. अच्छा फंक्शन कहाँ पे करेंगे, चला रिटर्न गिफ्ट दे देंगे, तो बहन आ गया उसको, वो छोड़ो, ये सब हो रहे. वो एक्चुअली सोल क्या मांग रहे, वो छोड़ के सब कर रहे.
Yeah.
मैं वो सोचा था, वो मेरे को डिस्टर्ब किया वो पॉइंट. अरे जो कर रहे हो उसके लिए करो ना, वो सोल क्या मांग रहे उसके लिए करो ना, ये सब छोड़ो, ये उन्होंने नहीं मांग रहे. वो मांग रहे जो चीज पकड़ के वो करो. So that is the thing. May right.
That's also why the humor is there so much kind of a thing. Do you think, when you make a movie like this, adding humor brings in a bigger audience?
I think it is a lot. I mean, personally, to say that, I think a lot of it has come with the language per se.
Okay.
Because the way people generally talk. I mean, also you can look at. I mean, specifically like when Venana mentions about the events that are unfolding after the death. Like for example, Mr. Narayana, the character, he's sitting across with a bunch of people who are talking about who's the MPTC at your location.
Yeah.
This is like how after like the fact that okay, anyways, the younger son has to come from Surat, so we have to hold the whole funeral as a procession. I mean, we can wait. Then how the whole the scenes are unfolding where people are talking about what are you going to drink, what are we going to eat, and what are we like, who's your political opponent on the other side. So all of these issues are very situational as a base if you look at them, and they're not clearly to induce any kind of laughs. I mean, where they have situations, for example, if you
Yeah.
look at the panchayat scene where you see the sarpanch saying, okay, let them have the chai. We had seen people laughing across the Telugu states, whether it was in Guntakal, we had another show in Guntakal, or Adoni, or very much in Nizamabad, of course, we had, or even the single screens in AMB, for example. So it was more of a situation where people are, laughing at it without any. I know, I understand, because it is nowhere intended to be comical.
Right.
The humor was very much genuinely erupting from the situations there. That lady falling down after crying a lot, and then suddenly the whole Coca-Cola scene happens
Yeah.
post that. I think all of this are also a lot of his experiences he has seen
Yeah.
across.
Yeah.
I think
Actually, I didn't follow any regular screenplay protocol things. What I
అంటే వారు అడిగేది
saw,
కూడా ఎట్లుందంటే మీరు కావాలని అంటే కామెడీ అంటే
అదే
కామెడీ కానీ
కావాలని
హ్యూమర్
రాసావా అని
రాసారా
అడుగుతున్నా.
లేకపోతే అది
అదే, అదే.
సందర్భానుసారంగా వచ్చింది కాబట్టి
yes,
పెట్టుకున్నారా అని
అదే
అడుగుతున్నారు.
సో అదే I didn't write for regular screenplay thing. What is that protocol screenplay at
Yeah.
cinema? I didn't follow that. What I felt at that situation, how people behaving exactly nowadays. So I want to portray that only. Yeah, exactly. That nowadays people doing like that only. So I want to show that.
Right. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. For me, one of the most interesting things about the film is when his character gets to know that his grandfather is dead. It happens at around the 20-minute mark, okay? And then for 20 minutes after that, till the 40-minute mark, you only focus on the actual funeral. That is, the body is there, people are coming.
Yes.
That's a long time to
Yes.
focus on
Yes.
that one thing.
Yes.
What made you say, I want to spend, people will usually spend some 5 minutes, introduce the characters, and then do the next scene. But you spend so much time there, 20 whole minutes. Tell me about your decision to sit there and observe this for 20 minutes.
Exactly that people उतना कॉन्फिडेंस में क्यों है बोले तो exactly 20 minutes people recollecting that days. Exactly every audience, yes, यही हो रहा है ना, ये मैं करा था. So definitely I trust that, I fix that. मैं बिलीव किया इतना. So जो 20 मिनट्स क्या होने दो, छोड़ो. बट जो ऑडियंस थिएटर में देख रहे हैं ना, वो रिलेट हो जाता. यस, मेरे ग्रैंडपा का सेरेमनी में ऐसे ही किया. आई वॉच समवन डूइंग लाइक दिस. यस, वो रिलेट हो जाता डेफिनेटली. सो मेरे को बिलीव था वो पक्का. सो दिस इज अ रिलेट होने के बाद उतना का सक्सेस नहीं होता ना. एक ऑडियंस स्क्रीन पे उसका उस स्क्रीन पे
That
उसको
connection.
यस दिख रहा है स्क्रीन पे. मैं जो किया उधर जो हो रहे मैं मेरे लाइफ में हुआ. तो उतना रिलेट हो सकता है पक्का. देयर इज नो चांस रिलेट नहीं होने के बोले तो ऐसा चांस ही नहीं है.
Yeah.
तो पक्का रिलेटेड हो जाता. सो मेरे को बिलीव था वो.
Yeah, and also when Venana was like describing all the film, I was narrating the story. My mention one of those important points is where people, in many ways, I mean, in many times, what happens is even people with issues, families with issues, they wouldn't meet up for a wedding, but they would definitely want to show up at the time of death.
Yeah.
And especially when you look at the characters of the Narayana and the grandfather's daughter, my Attama characters, they haven't come to home in 20 years because
Yeah.
of the ego clashes between the brothers. But at the time of death, they all showed up. So the family as an activity, the family as an entire entity is coming to see this man off on his final day to conduct the final rites. It is when also the key drama is happening there, where my father wouldn't talk. My father as a character, Ailaya, will not talk to Narayana, but that is also creating a lot of other drama that is happening in the family.
Yeah.
So. So death as primarily, if you look at the 20 minutes, you will see that you'll understand that these two men are not talking, but also that is also causing a lot of other disturbances. I mean, when there's a ogukada that is happening, where people are taking, like the performer on the stage asks, please let the family names. The elder son, Ailaya, he doesn't mention his sister and Baba character.
Yeah.
That establishes the distance that has happened between, I mean, the distance of the 20 years of distance that family has taken. But also, ironically, they are at the same place,
Yeah.
ready to conduct the final rites on the next day morning. So I think when you look back cinema at large, I mean, when you look back stories with death as one of those primary or an important which play a pivotal role, I think exploring that one particular aspect, I know it is very for some people it is traumatic, for some people it is troublesome, but if you can't hold them for that particular event of like 20 minutes odd, so he had to bring in all these elements, where you have an ogukada and followed by how problematic that situation was. The whole, again, this is marriage that I was supposed to get into, which is again disturbed because of the Tata's death. And I'm me meeting that woman and still, forgetting the world around me and then still wanting to romance this woman and do what all not. So all these elements that are showing up at death, because each individual character has his or her personal interest from that situation, and followed by another beautiful song like Balram Narsayo, where we are celebrating his death, or celebrating his life. Sorry, we are celebrating his life on this final rites. So all this we thought initially, even I had a little jitter. I mean, will people really be comfortable looking at the death as a scene and also followed by all these things? But through the end of the narration, or especially at that point where we actually see him off and then come to home, and then the new the problems start again. So I thought it was an amazing feat to achieve. Also, it was beautiful when we all look at the theaters.
Now, when you read the script, uh, what was your immediate reaction? I mean, did you have any this can be a little more commercial, that can be, did you have any like conventional producer jitters?
No, we didn't have the conventional jitters because the idea of 11 days, what happens in and around, and when he was talking about the 20 minutes, what you asked in the previous question also, shows the slice of life in the village, how
Right.
they behave, how they conduct themselves at the funeral. So when there is time, your mind changes. So all these things were reflecting to us because uh, I have in 2017 my aunt passed away. So those 11 days, how it was in our house, I could see it. So I did understand when he was telling me because he was telling slice of life, and the whole intention of starting Dilraju production was to give new cinema and give for pave way for new people. So that was the idea and intention. So we never thought in a conventional way. Even the first schedule when he did slightly, my uncle when he saw the rushes, he was like, they are going little bit filmy, and he asked the director to not go filmy, just stay rooted.
Can you give an example?
I think he should give the example. Raju gar.
That snooker thing, no, his business area. I shot first schedule that thing
Snooker
only.
board.
So Raju sir said that it's going to film me. No,
To
sir,
cinematic, as in terms
cinematic.
of my approach, my opening, and everything.
Yeah.
That episode only out of the box to that film. So I shot first schedule is that one. So no, sir, this is the only episode
which will look cinematic, but rest of the
yes.
things won't
which
be
look like the
conducted.
conventional,
Yes.
the approach towards. But Raju garu said, no, this is not how we are going to shoot this. Let's go more rooted how things like the whole chit fund scene that happens, and that's all. So yeah.
So he likes when we decided to do this film, it was like we have to do it rooted. We can't play around in getting the formula things into this, because then we'll be spoiling a very good script what we have in hand, and that paid off today.
How long did it take for you to write the script?
3 years nearby. 3
3
years.
years?
I sit. So many layers is the in script. So I recce for I roam for so many villages. So मेरे पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू में ऐसे हो रहा था, सब पूरा दुनिया में ऐसे हो रहा था. ये सोच में रखा के आने के बाद मैं पूरा फ्रेंड्स को फ़ोन करके मैं आ रहा हूँ, उसका ग्रैंडपा को, उसका थोड़ा बूढ़े लोगों को मिलाओ, ऐसा ऐसा बैठ के दारू मांगा के, चलो क्या बताओ क्या हो रहा है,
Tell me what's up.
व्हाट्स हैपनिंग इन योर विलेज, ऐसा कुछ हुआ था. ऐसा पूरा रिसर्च किया, तो उसके लिए टाइम लगा. सो रिसर्च होने के बाद जो स्क्रिप्ट एक शेप आने के बाद अगेन आई हैव सम मोर डाउट्स. सो इसीलिए और एक राइटर को ला गए, फिर 6 महीना और डाउट्स को वो डाउट्स को मैं क्लीन किया एक्चुअली, सॉर्टेड किया एक्चुअली. ऐसा पूरा कंप्लीट मेरा मन में पूरा पक्का स्क्रिप्ट आने तक मैं नहीं छोड़ा एक्चुअली. सो इसीलिए इट्स टेक 3 years आई थिंक.
Right. So, in those 3 years, were you also acting or?
No, actually I
He left everything.
Left
He
everything.
dedicated himself only
Yes.
for the script.
Wow, and it's paid off. This is a super amazing story.
Thank you,
So, all the 200 films you did before that,
Yes.
this is like kind of like this big prize at the end,
Yes,
So,
exactly,
I
exactly.
mean, as an actor, I mean.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
yeah. I mean, has any film of yours done this well? Done
Yes.
success like this?
ఇంత పెద్ద సక్సెస్ వచ్చిందా ఈ రెండు
This
వందల
is the first
సినిమాలు?
time.
The first time.
After 20 years, I had a first proper commercial and
Critically acclaimed.
critically acclaimed whatever it's I've done. The first time.
Amazing.
Never ever in my 22 years of career, I done 200 movies. So आपको पता है अच्छा कैरेक्टर एक फिल्म में करे तो अगर वो हिट हो जाएगा जो आ जाते हैं.
Stereotypes.
हाँ, सो मैं अच्छा कैरेक्टर है वो फ्लॉप हो रहे, अरे चले गया. एक छोटी कैरेक्टर वो ब्लॉकबस्टर हो रहे, ये ब्लॉकबस्टर होने टाइम में रिकग्नाइज नहीं होता है. और सॉलिड कैरेक्टर क्या वो फ्लॉप हो गया, वो रिकग्नाइज नहीं हो रहे. सो मेरे को क्या है वो नर्वस फील होगा क्या मेरे को, अरे क्या हो रहा है मेरे ज़िंदगी में, इतना कर सब लोग मेरे को प्राइड कर रहे हैं, ऐसा करते हैं, तुम्हारा टाइमिंग अच्छा रहता है, वो करते हैं, कोई पिक्चर नहीं देते. सो सबको कमर्शियल सक्सेस चाहिए. सो व्हाट इज दिस,
I think the
कमाएगा
industry
ये.
woke up to look at him totally different after the because Harshith had a plan that we'll all go take the movie to the Nizamabad and areas like that. We'll start showing them and take reactions of the people.
Right.
So that is the whole motto of the whole production. So we all went, and then the very day when the 21st of I think 21st,
21st, we did it in
we did it
Nizamabad.
in Nizamabad, and the reactions started showing up, and people started looking at it so differently. And they were even at a point where they were not really believing if it is really Venu has done this, because Venu had this image of this comedian for and also he had done a very famous TV show called Jabardast for many years, where he was a lead script writer and the all of that. So now looking people even like this is moment I couldn't believe myself. I've seen Mr. Vamshi Paidipalli, who's directed him in a film called Munna with Prabhas. And I can see after the first half of the show, Vamshi and I was sitting at the top in the balcony. He walked up and suddenly like, "What is up with you, man? Like, what is wrong with you? How can you make this film?" And so all of these reactions, just to see with getting all that accolades.
Chiranjeevi sir,
Chiranjeevi sir, his first reaction like, "How can you do this, man? How can you surprise us like this? What is wrong
Ram
with you?"
Charan sir, everybody.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm exciting. I'm cloud.
Cloud nine.
Nine, yeah.
Wonderful. Now, as you know, I'm asking you this. There are no right or wrong answers to this, but I just want to know your opinion. For a first-time filmmaker, is it better to think small? I mean, I don't mean in terms of ambition or art, but in terms of scale, so that, like financially speaking, is it better to write a good script with a small scale Is that an advantage?
I don't think small scale, but scale is never a matter of what you're thinking in terms of writing. When you're writing, you have to throw everything aside and write what you feel like,
Okay.
and then look for where you're going to fit in with it. Because I think in your personal life, you have an experience of what has happened. Like Srikanth Addala, our own director, who did Kottabangar Lokam, Sitama Vakitlo Sirimalle Chettu, all these two films happened in his personal life.
Right.
So I believe that when you take a script from your own personal life, it need not have a scale in it,
Right.
but it should be true to the what you are writing in it.
Right.
So that matters more than anything else.
I got it. Now, where I was going for is like, when like a Pelli Chuplu, Care of Kanchirapalam, these are all movies that are like relatively
Because
contained, right? It's
yeah.
it's not like mega budget production
Yeah.
kind of a thing. So, and they then
Became
big.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
I think because when they are trying to do on their own, they will not be having a platform like a production house which is going to help them out.
Right.
So that was one thing when we did this film. When he came to me also, it was like, sir, I will do this film in 1 crore. So we were like, no, this cannot happen in 1 crore. You have to increase slightly the budget. So my uncle stepped in. He said, I'll give you a better budget. Do it properly.
Nice.
So that's what we were looking at when we are doing. We are trying to give budgets which is right for that film.
Right.
So that would help us tell the story in a right
Right.
direction.
So I'm putting the word out that
Yeah.
Dil Raju Productions
Yes,
is
yes.
now open to people who have interesting rooted scripts.
Yes, yes.
Can I announce that?
Yes, please do, please do.
There are always 10 people standing at the gate every time, and they're like holding some or the other document. They're like, is there any big car that is coming up so that I can flash immediately, show that script? I've seen those boys standing there
We
all
are taking all the numbers. I'm personally, I have put 2 people or 3 people to look after the scripts, give it what's happening in, and think about it.
Right.
Because our idea is not to miss a good story. So how well we can communicate to every individual and get the story out.
One of the loveliest parts of this movie is the tone of the songs. They're not the typical melody songs. They're very rooted. They're very is that the song from that area?
That village, hometown, Pallettoor, no wonder.
I think village,
Village.
native
Village
place.
is everywhere same emotions. In my childhood, village characters, how is that characters? There is no one called name.
They don't address each other by name. They won't
names.
say mama, chacha.
That relations.
Babai, like-
So I saw that my childhood, that emotion. So so అందుకే ఆ పాటలు
No, what actually the idea, I'll communicate his ideas. When we both sat down, what is the music? I wanted to ask him because music plays a major role.
Right.
So then we landed up with the idea of like Coke Studio.
Right.
Coke Studio kind of, because it has rooted songs which will go through. So the last song, what Ugukata is, it's a template always. In Telangana, there is a template where the names change, but the context and content is the same. So Ugukata is the same thing, what we did. But the opening song,
అది శారద గారు
and
Sharada,
these all songs come from Telangana culture name.
Culture.
Janapadalu.
జానపదాలు folklore.
Folklore. These are all songs in already in the
it's already
area
there.
it's very
He
prevalent.
picked those things
Yes,
which are already there in the heritage. He picked, like Coke Studio does. We picked from the heritage and we started using it.
Lovely.
Very
lovely.
much
That's why that sounds also very different.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like not like the songs from a typical movie.
True. I think they call the last song that you're talking about is about they are called Sharda Garu.
no Budagajangam.
Budagajangamlu, the community's name Budagajangamlu. They do it for even they'll do a singing for a death. They can also do it for a performance on a Dasara. They can also do that for something on a wedding day also. So very much rooted in the language, culture, and
Especially that Budagajangal, that climax part sung, no?
the two people who sung the song.
That people especially sung that death ceremony nearby. So there is a special people for that
activity.
activity.
Death and funeral.
Especially वो जो मरे उसके साथ गाते हैं वो.
Gaate ho, yeah.
So क्या हुआ मेरे एक टाइम I think 2014-15 my పెద్దనాన్న ఏమంటారు my big father Periyappa is Yeldandi Raghavulu. He's 96-year-old. He died. At that time I was in shoot somewhere. So I couldn't go. Exactly after 10 days my Peddamma is gone. he's 94 years old. Same time I'm some out
Shooting.
shoot. Okay, so मैं काम किया, जो मैं रिटर्न बैक इन हैदराबाद से एक बार भाई को मिलने के जाएंगे. सो बैक टू बैक పెద్దమ్మ गया, फादर एंड मदर चले गया ना. जो चेदुनोरू बोले ना, एक कल्चर. मैं भी भाई के साथ गया, एक बॉटल लेके गया, 2 किलो चिकन लेके गया, मेरे भाभी को देते पकाओ, चलो भाई चलो मारेंगे चलो. सो सॉरी भैया, मैं नया पाया मैं. सो तो मेरा भाई एक बात बोले, नहीं रे मेरे को दर्द नहीं है, क्योंकि मेरा बड़ी माँ को बड़ी पापा को शादी होके 86 ईयर्स हो गया उसको शादी का बॉन्डिंग.
Wow.
सो 86 ईयर्स ऑफ फ्रेंडशिप चले गया रे अम्मा का, इसलिए फ्रेंड को मिलने को गया हूँ, किधर नहीं भी गया, इसलिए दर्द नहीं है बोले. कितना बड़ी बात है, 86 ईयर्स फ्रेंडशिप. सो इमोशन हो गया. सो देन बैक टू बैक माँ फादर गए ना, पूरा मेरा 100 कजिन्स, बड़ी फैमिली, सब लोग आ गया. मम्मी गया, फादर गया बोल के सब लोग आके मिलके जो सेलिब्रेशन हो रहे, तो एक्टिविटी हो रहे. एट द टाइम द बोडगजंगमा गाइस इज केम दैट प्लेस. तो मेरे भाई ने जाके, चलो 20 रुपए ले लो, मैं छोटी बेटा होता हूँ, मेरा बाप का नाम है, मम्मी का नाम है, बोले तो गाना शुरू किया. वो कल्चर में क्या होता है, एक ही सेटअप हो जाता. तो ये आया ना, इसका नाम लगा के इससे ऊपर जाता, ये आया ना इसके नाम लगा, ऐसा. तो स्टार्ट किया, राघवलू तू किधर गया रे, तेरा छोटा बेटा रो रहे इधर, हर सुबह तू उठ के चल के जा जाता, कल से कौन उठाने वाला है, ये सोच रहे, ऐसा कुछ गा रहे. ये रिलेट हो रहे, सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन. वो फादर का, मेरा पापा का मेरा रिलेशन क्या है बोल के रोना पड़ा. बाद में और एक कजिन आ गया, चलो मैं प्रियदर्शी, मैं बड़ी बा का बेटा होता हूँ, ये लो 20 रुपए ले लो, मेरे ऊपर गाओ. वो भी, अरे तेरा प्रियदर्शी रो रहे रे तेरे लिए, राघवलू तू किधर गया, ताता ताता बोलेगा, किसको बोलने का, वो रो रहे पूछ रहे, ऐसा कुछ. वो गाना हो रहे, सब लोग आ रहे, पैसे दे रहे, उसका रिलेशन पकड़ के ऐसा रो रहे, ऐसा कुछ हो गया रहे मेरा मन में. पूरा माहौल पूरा इतना हैप्पी टीयर्स आ रहे, सब लोग 2 घंटे 3 घंटे एंजॉय किया. पापा को मम्मा को वो रिकलेक्ट किया बोल के बोला, यस देन आई गॉट माई क्लाइमैक्स, यस दिस इज व्हाट माई क्लाइमैक्स. क्योंकि आजकल तो ऐसा रहो, इसका इज्जत दो, ऐसा रहो, कोई सुनने वाला नहीं. सबको सब पता है, सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन होना है सबने. वो किसका बात सुन के कोई नहीं चेंज होने वाले नहीं अब
Yeah.
आजकल.
No one wants to lecture.
या सो खुद का होना चाहिए. सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट टू एवरीबॉडी. सो एट दैट टाइम आई गॉट दैट आइडिया, यस दिस इज व्हाट, ऐसा ऐसा बोलना है क्लाइमैक्स, दिस इज माई क्लाइमैक्स. सो वहाँ से मेरे को दैट आई गॉट दैट आइडिया एंड आई.
He did the climax.
Yeah, amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
The last scene of the film, the last line of the film, you know, Kalisundam,
కలిసే ఉంది.
Kalise Undam. So, like, basically, you're saying we will be together, we will always be together.
Together, that's it.
Why did you want to say it in your own voice and say your name after that? Because usually people write on screen, maybe there's a title card, but you speak
Yes,
that line and then you say your own name. Why did you want to do that?
So actually that before that 4 lines is also I sung that
Yeah.
lines. So what I 5 साल से मैं जो स्ट्रगल किया, मैं क्या बोलना चाहता हूँ, क्या स्ट्रगल किया, ये रूट में जाना चाहिए. एक अब जो बोले ना लेक्चर नहीं देना है, एक चीज़ भी है, कुछ बातें चाहिए समवेयर. कितना भी सेल्फ रिलेशन होने के बाद एक सोके एक आदमी एक एक्सपेक्ट करते ये टच के लिए, वो टच रहना है. कितने भी रियलाइजेशन होने के बाद भी, अब पूरा रियलाइजेशन हो गया, बाद में समवन केम टू मी, इट्स ओके. एवरी पर्सन वांट्स टू गेट टच.
Yeah.
सो आई फील दैट. सो इतना बोल दिया, डायरेक्टर क्या चाहता है. सो आई वांट टू, चलो मैं किया ये सब, मेरे बात ये है, प्लीज मान लो, दिस इज माय मूवी, दिस इज माय मैसेज. सो आई वांट टू टेल दैट टू वर्ड्स.
Nice. So is this going to be a standard that you're going to do in every movie?
No, 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 no,
You stick to- like a signature, you
no,
know,
no,
like
no,
that.
not at all. No.
Okay.
This script, I think my point of view, this script demands that words.
Nice.
I felt that.
Right.
but not every movie.
Right. So when you came onto this movie, how did you cast him? Did you cast him? Was it a joint decision?
It was a
Yes,
joint
joint
decision.
Okay,
decision.
okay,
Joint
okay.
decision.
Raju Garu was there, director was there, myself, Hanshita, all of them when we heard the script, and then yes, who we need as a lead actor, who will take it forward. And all of us, when collectively we were talking, Darshi's name came out because he already has done Malaysian, he's done male, so we know that he's the right kind of a guy who can portray that the young boys of Telangana.
Yeah.
We thought, especially from the village backdrop, because the kind of problems also they hold, how they are away from, at the same time, they are in the family
Yeah.
with those kind of problems, what they face financially, like money where they do. All these things, when we thought he was the right person to do it. Because when we saw Malaysian or male, he was the
Yeah,
right person
because
for
of
us.
this character doing comedy in this film, this character doing emotion things is this character doing that స్వార్థం ఏమంటారు?
The very
Selfishness.
selfishness.
Selfish
Yeah.
things.
So this much lot of emotion in this character. So Darshi only can do, I thought. So because he did Malaysian, that emotional thing he did, and he did lot of comedy roles. So yes,
There everything was there in him. He could
Right.
identify.
yes,
From Jatiratnalu he did entertainment, he's done uh, emotions in Malaysian, and then from male he
that
has done loser. He is holding the
what
pain
that
in him, web
intense
series.
performance. So all of one actor.
Though he's also played a terrorist.
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
know, people forget that. I think they just look at you as a comic actor. In Terror, the
Yeah,
film, you're a
yeah,
terrorist.
yeah, I did,
Yeah,
I did, I
yeah,
did.
yes.
Long back,
It's
yeah, I
long
was there.
back.
Yeah, I think, but do you enjoy? See, there are two sides to your career, right? You are the lead or the protagonist in these movies, right? These middle of the road movies, maybe
Yeah,
we can call
yeah.
them. I mean, I'm just struggling
You
for a
can, you
word
can,
there.
yeah.
So Malaysian, this movie, Balagam. Whereas in bigger movies, you're like a like a comic sidekick or another thing. Are you enjoying this bifurcation in your career, or would you rather?
Yeah, I think definitely. I mean, I was not like the man with the plan kind of a guy. I was because it started with just being to able to coexist and survive in a place like this. To I mean, when Pelichu players come up, until then I was just being that bad guy or the guy in the back or the sidekick and all of that. But that put me on the map, and that then it was like I started become like I was called the comedian and all of that. I wanted to only have the energy to break that stereotype and then walk into something nice and good or something that wants to personally satisfy as an actor. But definitely I enjoy the process because by the time when I was doing Malaysia, I was also doing 5 other things which are principally oriented in humor or comedy. But the experience of me working as an actor over all these films has helped me have a different approach towards Malaysia, because as an actor I don't think I have to sit home and constantly meditate like I should do this character. I would rather want as an actor to be something like a workshop mode where you're constantly working on a certain character, understanding the nuances, and then shut that out and then work on something
Right,
else.
right.
So it kind of helps me, as a performer to look at the varied emotions, look at the varied, perspectives of these
It's a
directors.
bit like multitasking.
Yeah, it is. Uh, it looks like multitasking, but it is always sometimes monotasking, solo tasking only. Like you're day one, you're, for example, on Broche Varevurura, you're on the third day, you're on Malaysian. But I know this shift is such a different thing to happen. But I think I enjoy it because uh, where else would I get to do films like this and or
Yeah, yeah,
Malaysian,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
where would I, some soul satisfying work also requires it. But yeah, definitely I don't know what his future is offering me, but I'm as of now standing here humbly in my position, looking at stories where I can be relate and connect to the audience.
Right.
Yeah, I think.
Right, and I think there is, like you said earlier, with you gave the example of Kantara, and nobody expected it to kind of blow up into the kind of success that it did, and thoroughly rooted movie, completely, belonging to a particular culture, and maybe that's what's happening now, that that, you know,
The subaltern has taken over, like basically it is taking over, is what I believe.
Right.
And Kantara is one of those beautiful examples, or now it is Balagam that we are talking about here. And we had audiences, like for example, when we were shooting in Sirsila, we had even these young boys who were watching Jamtada on Netflix, and it must have sounded very alien for them to. I mean, not just Hindi, but it's about that one particular place or the dialect that they're talking about, but they're still rooting for it, or even Squid Games for the matter of fact. So I mean, we are watching content ref, left, center, and yeah, art or whatever we calling it. So I think personally as an actor or him as a filmmaker, I think we are in that really sweet space uh, where we are being vocal about the local, or I don't know, whatever.
that's a lovely way to
Yeah,
put it. You know,
yeah.
did you just think it up or did you rehearse? I
No,
just
I think
kind of.
I mean this is
I'm
what
kidding. I just
no,
yes.
no, this is what I've been seeing off lately, where how we are embracing
Right.
and I think definitely we should also duly credit the audience who are
Yeah,
evolving
yeah,
at a
and
space where the way technology is evolving at an exceptional speed, and how people are catching up. I mean, we are talking about how artificial intelligence can influence your writing, or your performances and all of that.
No,
I mean,
actually, the entire credit goes to audience because of Balagam today. This much of success credit goes to audience. So एक था ऐसा स्क्रिप्ट पब्लिक नहीं देखेंगे एक था
yeah, it
ऐसी
was
कभी
all
नहीं
you're
है.
yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
Yeah,
See that Shankarabharanam is the movie
yeah.
at that time is a blockbuster hit. That watch the only audience only. So audience public में है ऐसा वो चाह रहे हैं ये नहीं दे रहे बस.
Yeah, actually giving that example is a good one because at that point, imagine like a whole movie based on Carnatic music.
Yes,
You know,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
yes.
like people would have been like, "Oh my God, what is this story?" You know, just like,
If
how is this?
if
You
there
know,
is proper soul in subject, if there is proper emotion in the subject, people definitely will enjoy that.
right?
But I think, which adding to that, I think we had somebody like Dilraj Productions, because taking it to the people at a sort of in a big,
Yeah, yeah,
almost like a big spectacle.
yeah,
Marketing it into ways and hooks and corners. I mean, this is the first time for a film. Probably, I think there would have been many examples where we had these setups, like we used to go into tier 2 cities arranged by Sirish Garu, where they're doing flash mobs on the Balagam songs. I mean, we had to take this because these are the days where certain categories of audience, they would only walk up to the theaters who only have a spectacle kind of a film,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
or they have a big star as a film. I mean, big star on the poster. But for a guy who's wanting to invest 115 or 150 rupees on Priyadarshi as a poster, it would take a great deal of decision as a factor, because that guy would end up on the 20th day on OTT. I can wait for another 20 days to probably catch up. But when you're associated with something like Dilraj Productions, and we'll have a legendary producer like Dilraju Garu, this that we can request the exhibitors to hold on to a couple of more days in the theaters. And also the timing of the release was such a strategic placement, where we didn't have a major film until Dasara. Nani Zana films will come on 30th. So we had a clean run in the theaters, because holding up theaters for the audience to show up on the third week. I mean, we had the highest grossing day yesterday, which is the
Yeah.
21st day of the release.
Right. Just to put that in context, because depending on when this is aired, today's the day. We are actually talking on the day the film is out on OTT.
Yes,
That
yes.
is Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
And the previous day, that is yesterday, was the highest collections that you
Highest
get
collections of the day.
of the day. Yeah.
I mean, not to comment on the business, how it is going here and there, but I think for also to people understand and to believe, yes, we are going into a movie which will be a complete paisa vasool.
Yeah,
Where even the little
that's-
popcorn, that overrated popcorn, even when you're buying it, we know it, that it is okay. It is a good film at the end of the day, where you'll come up with a very good memory outside when you're walking out of the theater. So they would be willing to pay that kind of money for the popcorn, for the ticket, for the drive that you're going on, only when the film is worth all that time and money.
Yeah.
So today, when we see all these um, audience cut across culture, region, class, caste, all the demographics, we still have people coming out of theaters with a happy smile. I think that
I think that final public पिक्चर देखने को नहीं जा रहे, they want to experience
Experience.
it.
Yeah.
They want experience with his own Khandan family.
With the families.
That is the happening going actually. So they know what is the movie. It's कभी OTT में आ जाएगा, तो मैं ताता को बामा को क्यों लेके जाने का थिएटर को, वो टायर्ड हो जाता, वो नहीं छोड़ रहे. We want to experience with our family, with not our family, not Khandan.
Like the whole family.
Whole
Not just the
family.
immediate family,
Yeah,
but
the
the
Yeah,
whole
bunch of
extended family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
So
we
they
have
want to-
examples of ladies, like I think probably in their 60 plus, where the husbands are busy or not showing up. So all the ladies would, collectively, do it as one of those kitty party, extended kitty party events where in the theaters.
That's lovely.
Yeah, so we had seen such situations. Primarily, we're also a country where not everybody is digital literate. I mean, they're migrants maybe, but they didn't, they're digital migrants, but they're not really well versed about what to watch and where to watch it.
Yeah.
So they would rather show up to theaters. They would want to have a very good, community and unparalleled experience in theaters.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for this conversation because uh, this is an inspiration because first time production, first time director. You, of course, are a veteran, so I'm not going to go near you.
Not a veteran.
Okay, but to kind of have faith in a project at a time when so many people think like exactly like you said, so many people think that you either have to have like a Marvel type film or a big star to draw people to theaters to put out a like an intimate family oriented story like this and make a big hit out of it. That shows a lot of promise that yes, the audience will come, but provided certain conditions are met. It's not that they're never going to see this, but you have to have that thing. So I think you proved that with this film. So congratulations again.
Thank you. Thank
I'm
you
very
so
happy
much.
for you.
Thank you
and
so
that
much.
it's so inspiring that after 20, 22 years that you stuck on there and finally got the success that you surely deserve. So thank you for speaking to Galatta Plus. Thank you. Thank you.
So, by the last word, and I want to thanks my producer Siri sir. He's the first audience for me. I done one schedule, so I want to wait that what is Siri sir after देखने के बाद क्या बोलेगा. He's the first reviewer. He's a pure audience actually. ओ schedule दे के बाद तो निकल गया जाओ अच्छा है. Then yes, I did that this schedule perfect, and I want to thank my producer, the first producer, my producer Harshith Reddy and my Hanishita Reddy ma'am. So I want to thank you. So he gave complete freedom, complete open hands to me. So that's why I make like this movie, and I want to thanks my darling, my soul, my DOP, Venu Acharya. What is in my mind, what I'm thinking in my mind, exactly he showed that exactly same way, exactly what I'm thinking in my way, in my mind, exactly he देखे थे वो portrait किया था. So thank you Venu Acharya, love you darling.
Thanks all of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.